Fluffy is a very interesting comedian. I like the fact that he's able to. Actually, you're right, the mentor Dino. Um, he's able to add another layer of joke to the joke. You know
Yep.
what? You get what I'm trying to say, because to be called fat, fat in itself has already some degree of a laughing matter
Mm.
into it. But Fluffy came up with this idea of putting different levels of fatness, which is to me very, very hilarious.
Yeah,
Mm.
totoo.
Mm.
He gets away with it too because he himself is fat. Kaya nga
Right.
fluffy ang tawag niya sa sarili niya eh. Good day. Welcome to Tip Talk Season 2. This time, this is episode number 11 for our show about Fluffy Iglesias and his comedic stylings. So I'm back here again tonight with my co-hosts. That's Raul de la Vega and Carl Las Marias. So um, to refresh the memory of our viewers, especially first-time viewers, maybe we should once more go the round of saying a little bit something about who we are. Maybe this time we can ask Carl to say a little bit something about himself.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So my name is Carl Anthony Las Marias. I'm a Japanese speaker by profession, and I recently joined Toastmasters as well.
All right, welcome,
Yeah.
Carl. Yeah. So, for those of you who saw Carl in the previous episode where we analyzed Johnny Antilion, he's proven to be a valuable member of the panel because he is the voice of the youth, as it were. Yeah. So, because we were reacting to teenagers back in 1954, and yes, we weren't even born in 1954. So it's good to have you back, Carl. Raul, could you say something short about yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Raul de la Vega. When I'm not having sessions such as this, I help out with the Speakers Bureau, where we help corporate folks with their communication and customer service skills. And during my free time, I enjoy going to Toastmasters activities to stay sharp in communication. Back to you, Dino.
Outstanding, Raul. And Raul is so modest, but he is also a member of the Hall of Fame, having won the speech to evaluate on the national level. Yes, dear friends, that's one thing that the three of us have in common. We are Toastmasters, people who benefit from better speaking, better listening, better thinking, all in an atmosphere of fun. And sadly, today I happen to be wearing red and my background is red. So I've basically blended into my background. Um, I'm just glad I'm so pale, otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see me. But tonight, we're not going to talk about my paleness, we're going to talk about Fluffy Iglesias. Fluffy, who in real life is called Gabriel Iglesias, but he's known as Fluffy for very visual reasons. So, meaning to say, he is rather large for a person. So here we are, about to react to his comedic styling. So let me just get the ball rolling by playing the video that we're going to listen to. So now we're going to listen to Fluffy and a video that he has called The Five Levels of Fatness.
A lot has changed, El Paso. A lot has changed. One thing's for sure, I'm still the fluffy guy.
He sure is.
And I say fluffy because that is the politically correct term. For those of you that don't remember, I used to say that there were 5 levels of fatness. Reason why I say used to say is because now there are 6. I met the new one in Las Cruces. The original 5 levels are big, healthy, husky, fluffy, and damn. People ask, what could be bigger than damn? The new level's called, oh, hell no. What's the difference? You're still willing to work with level 5. Example, if you're on an elevator and you're with your friend and this really big guy gets on and you and your friend look at each other and you're like, damn. But you still let the big guy ride your elevator. That's the difference. Level 6, you see walking towards your elevator. Oh, hell no.
Okay, we'll stop right there. And let's begin reacting. First of all, he's brave because, in today's world of political correctness, that would have been called body shaming. Like in the corporate world, people will react to jokes like that, especially, di ba? Ano na tayo eh, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusivity. Ayan. We see this because there's so many different types of toilets now in most BPOs. So um, let's hear your reaction, guys, to that opening sequence. Maybe Carl, kasi palagay ko first time lang nakita ni Carl si Fluffy.
Yes po. Fluffy is a very interesting comedian. I like the fact that he's able to actually you're right, the mentor Dino. Um, he's able to add another layer of joke to the joke. You know
Yep.
what you get what I'm trying to say because to be called fat in itself has already some degree of a laughing matter
Mm.
into it. But Fluffy came up with this idea of putting different levels of fatness, which is to me very, very hilarious.
Yeah,
Mm,
totoo.
mm.
He gets away with it too because he himself is fat. Kaya nga Fluffy
Right.
ang tawag niya sa sarili niya eh. Raul,
Mm.
what do you think?
Yeah, I notice how he immediately catches the curiosity of the listeners now when he says something like, "Oh, I used to say that there are 5 levels. Now there are 6." So when he says something like that, "Oh, I wonder something new. I wonder what's going to be the sixth." And then after that, as he goes along, when he shows a variety of tone and then his spatial expression plus the sound effects, that makes the humor very effective. Back to you, Dino.
Thank you, Raul. Now, I have a question for both of you. Have any of you um, ever been tempted to press the close button of an elevator as quickly as possible just because you saw
Oh.
somebody really big about to share a ride? Has that happened?
I would close the elevator when I would notice that no one is approaching. So, the sooner I get upstairs, the better. That's why.
Hmm. Uh, Carl, how about you? Have you
Uh,
actually?
I haven't experienced that to be in that kind of situation, but I think I wouldn't close the door just to, to show some respect to the, especially if the elevator isn't full. I'll give
Oh,
some
okay.
room
So
for the person to be able to come in or to enter.
yeah, even if it were Godzilla about to to enter
Well,
the
if we would both fit in, why not?
um, you know, on occasion, when I'm in an elevator and I see that it's going to be very, very full, and this was even before the pandemic and social distancing and all that, diba? Um, I would not push the door closed, but instead, if I notice that a few more people really wanted to squeeze in into an elevator that's really not meant for that many people, I would step out. Ayan. I would step out and take the stairs, even if it meant I'd have to walk 23 flights of stairs. Kasi inisip ko, if all these people squeeze themselves into the elevator, and if the elevator somehow failed to function after that,
Right,
then
right.
not only are we all stuck, but we're also experiencing claustrophobia.
Yeah.
And that would be unbelievably uncomfortable. So yeah, I'd just step out and take the stairs. So uh, we're all three of us are too nice to prevent a really huge person to share a ride in an elevator. But related to that, let's not even talk about elevators. Let's talk about something more practical. Have you ever been in an office where you notice that one of your colleagues is so big that when he enters the room, like for example, it's your break, it's time to go to the pantry. You notice that both of you are headed to the pantry, and you're smaller, you'll get there sooner. But then he also wants to go because he's hungry. So it just so happened that you notice you're in a collision course to try to squeeze through the door at the same time. Did you give way, or did you try to zip on ahead? Has that happened to any of you?
Okay.
Well, in my case, I'm innately a gentleman, so I would I haven't been in that kind of situation, but I would have let the other person go first.
I get it. Especially if it were female, because that would
Yeah.
be unbelievably awkward.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, he did that for comedy's sake, to make us laugh, because in reality, my guess is he's really a gentleman. He probably would not press the close button just because Godzilla was about to enter the elevator. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's continue, but this time let's just leave our microphones on so that if we laugh, it will be heard by our audience. Okay, here we go.
Sure.
That's the difference. The guy that I met was 6'8", 614 pounds. Oh, hell no. And he was offended at my show. Not by anything that I said, but because of the fact that now at the shows, I started selling t-shirts. And apparently, I didn't have his size. Keep in mind, I go all the way up to 5X on the t-shirts. And he was like, you don't have my size. I was like, dude, I didn't know they made you. I have up to 5X. I don't have X. The picture of a dinosaur on the back of the tag, you know? Since the last time we've been here, a couple of things have changed. One of which is I am officially down 100 pounds. Yeah. Thank you. I know some of you in the front are looking at me right now like, well, how big were you? I know. Hercules. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, let me tell you what happened. Basically, I found out I was a little sick. I was diagnosed about 2 years ago, type 2 diabetic. Now, I maxed out at 445 pounds. Yeah, that's way past Fluffy, okay? Let's be honest, that's not even, damn! 445 pounds, that's borderline Discovery Channel fat. I was like, I couldn't leave the house, you know?
He wants to go to the movies.
It was really bad, you guys, and so I was waking up every morning with a 300 plus sugar level. Now, anyone who knows anything about diabetes, that is super high. And you do that enough times and eventually, clear.
It's so hard to say goodbye. They buried him in frosting. It was the sweetest funeral ever. Everyone got a cupcake. It was the shit. It was so nice.
I'm at the doctor's office, you guys, and the doctor tells
Okay, we can stop right there. It's amazing how many punchline he has in just a few minutes, no? Like
Right. Right.
for you guys, what made you chuckle with this particular segment? Saan kayo natawa?
I found it funny, when he talks about that part. Mm, uh, the biggest one he had was 5x.
Yeah,
And
me too.
so I didn't have that size. It was the X. So there's a lot of emphasis when he says X. So
Right, right.
I mean that big. So back to you, Dino.
Yeah, which of course tells us na if we want to win the humorous speech contest, and I'm looking forward to attending the convention this May. Um,
Mhm.
It's to see how well our contestants are able to use that, the ability to work with their voice,
Mhm.
their comedic timing, as it were. Because when he goes, tama yung sinabi ni Raul, when he said,
Right, right.
X, the pause,
Yes.
which really emphasizes how big the person was, because he even looked up. Fluffy is already tall, but then he looks up. That means this guy was humongous, ginormous,
Mm.
to use a different word. For you,
Mm.
Carl, what made you laugh this time?
I have the same, just the same as with DTM Raul. When the big guy was disappointed because he didn't have a shirt the size his size, and then when he asked who was it, Fluffy answered, "I didn't know they made you." So that was very very funny to me. And also, one of the things I like about Fluffy is that he has such a commendable way of delivering stories. Right? Katulad nga po na nabanggit nyo, when he introduces a topic, he straight away gives a point of reference. And I think this is something that both of you guys have already brought up earlier. What makes his delivery excellent is the dynamics of his voice. Yung tone shifting niya, he produces a variety of sounds tulad nung kay Godzilla. Roar, gumagano po siya. And it makes the story more colorful and vivid.
Indeed.
Mm.
I also like the fact that he is able to make references that are easy to understand.
Yes, yes, right.
We get it instantly. Like when he was saying, he was diagnosed as type 2 diabetic. He'd wake
Yeah.
up every morning with blood sugar level of 300. And so pretty soon he might be, "Tsk," meaning he'd be subjected to a defibrillator just to bring him
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
So that's why he had to lose 100 pounds. Ayan,
Right,
no?
right.
So I look at Carl and I know that Carl isn't struggling with his weight. So that's good for you.
I
um,
used to. So
you did.
I used to be I was 80 kilos mentor.
Oh,
2 years ago, I think.
okay. So and what convinced you to lose weight?
I didn't feel confident in front of the camera and talking to people because I used to be a financial advisor as well. So
Mm.
I was dealing with sales, and I just realized that I don't really look well. So
Oh,
I made a decision to reduce my weight,
okay.
and it paid
And
off, I think.
certainly,
Yeah.
not just in terms of physically, but it also reinforces the notion that you're talking about financial wellness, and so
Mhm.
that ties in beautifully with the brand of physical wellness.
Right, right.
Financially well, physically well, so you take care of it from both ends, so that you
Mhm.
could have a good savings at the end of your work life, and at the same time enjoy the quality
That's
of your
right.
retired life. So okay, I get that. Oh, um, Raul, has there ever been a time that you felt too big or bigger than you wanted to be?
No, no. Right now my waistline is 36. It has been 36 for the last 4 years.
Wow.
So I've been able to maintain, I've been able to maintain my weight.
And that's good because Raul is always on the move. That's one of the things I like about Raul. If he's not here recording this episode with us, he's attending a Toastmasters event or
Mm.
participating in a contest, and including
Mm.
humorous speech, by the way.
Wow.
um, if Sassy, one of our previous hosts, were here tonight, he would also be able to react to this particular comedian because did Sassy ever win on a national level? I think it did, right? For humorous. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it did. As a humorous speech contestant. Anyway, um, what I like as well about Fluffy Iglesias is the fact that he makes you think. Because, for example, the reference to the XXXL, the X, made me remember that every time I go to a grocery store and I look for garbage bags, I'm always looking for size XXXL. And the reason why I look for the biggest garbage bag money can buy, it's not because I have a lot of garbage, not at all. It's because I have found it so useful that if I'm not using my large flat screen TV, because I have two of them, one in the living room and another one in the balcony where I sometimes do my editing work. I if I'm not using the TV, I wrap it in the XXXL garbage bag so that dust won't settle into the internal components of the TV, nor will it get wet during typhoons or during the rain. And it's always so difficult to look for the triple XL size garbage bags. Usually you'll find double X or XL. So that's what I found particularly hilarious about it because I could relate. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, here we go.
Tells me, he says, listen, Gabriel, you're 445 pounds, your weight is out of control, your diabetes is out of control, you're 35 years old, you will not live another 2 years. I guarantee it. And I got very emotional, you know. I was like, are you serious? He goes, 2 years tops. And I was like, but I just started making money. Well, it's gonna be a nice funeral. I was like, what an ass. So it took a lot for me to finally start doing something about it, you know, because it's not like this is the first time I try to lose weight. This has been happening for a long time, but somebody tells you you're gonna die, you actually wake up. So what it took was, it took the support of my friends, my family, and, you know, especially, I gotta give credit where credit is due. Martin, you guys, helped me out so much because he's always encouraging me to go to the gym. Let's go work out, bro. Let's go do something. And more importantly than let's go work out is, you know, we're on the road together 46 weeks out of the year, so we eat together a lot, and he's always watching what I eat. And if he sees me reaching for something I shouldn't mess with, he checks me. Especially breakfast. That's my favorite meal. I love breakfast. And they always put us at these nice hotels where they give us this continental breakfast with the buffet. And, you know, if I'm eating eggs and bacon and sausage, that's fine. Yes, some of it's fattening, but guess what? No sugar. If Martin sees me reaching for muffins or waffles, he makes a scene. He waits for me to get about 15 feet away, and he starts yelling in front of all the people at the restaurant. Oh yeah, he's still ghetto. I don't care if it's a Ritz-Carlton. Guess what? Machete's here. He starts yelling. He waits for me to get 15 feet away, and then he starts. Really, bro? You're gonna put that in your mouth, Fluffy? You know what that's gonna do to your body? Hey, have some self-respect. And he makes me cry at breakfast. I'm sad. I'm like, I don't want the muffin. I don't want it. I don't want the muffin. I'm not a little whore. I'm not a little whore. But see, that is a real friend who would check me and remind me, hey, bro, get mad at me all you want. I just want you to live. And I got to respect that. That's why I love that dude, you know? And in turn, sometimes I got to check Martin. Yeah. Believe me, you guys. It goes both ways. Sometimes I have to check him. Not about his weight, but he has his demons too. You know, oh, believe that. Yes, sometimes there's limited space at the hotels where we're staying at. So sometimes we got to double up on a room. And every now and then Martino brings some random girl to the room at 3 o'clock in the morning, wakes me up. I got to look at him and say, really, bro? You're going to put that in your mouth? Do you know what that's gonna do to your body? Hey, have some self. He doesn't. He really doesn't. So
Okay, okay. um, the value of having a friend who's close enough to you to tell you the truth. Now, that's really
Mhm.
important. Even going to the gym, you know.
Right.
Do you know people who have gym memberships? Those are expensive. You pay 1 year in advance, and
Mm.
then they flash their cards. Oh, I have a membership in Gold's Gym. Blah blah blah.
Right.
And you know that they never really go. They're just proud to declare that they have a gym membership, but they don't really take advantage of it. Do you know people like that?
I
I
used
guess.
to be.
Oh, all right. So, but I'm sure, Carl, you actually went, right? I mean, kasi ginastusan mo naman.
Oh,
Kasi,
I went at some point, but later on, medyo tinamad na po ako. Yeah, that
okay.
was during the time when I was still at 82 kilos.
Ah, all right. So, what was the initial allure of gym membership?
It was, I think that was after New Year, you know, you make
I,
you
oh,
write new resolutions and all of that. I promised to
okay.
myself that I would lose weight, but it didn't really happen.
Oh,
And of course,
okay.
to reinforce your the promise, the commitment that you've made to yourself, you actually force yourself by signing up for a gym membership, and that's what happened.
Oh, yeah, because in other words, you're saying that unless there's something invested,
Right.
you wouldn't be motivated to actually go.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
But as you pointed out, no, especially in your case, it only worked for a while. After a
Mm.
while, you stopped going. Ayan, no?
Because I also figured that I wasn't really interested in lifting weights. So I found my interest in boxing.
Yun. Oh yeah,
Apo.
kasi
But it
cardio. Yeah. Go
yes,
ahead, go ahead.
but there was a pause. There was a pause actually, mentor. So huminto muna po ako na I stopped for a while, and then at some point I decided to sign up for the boxing membership.
So yeah, for you, it wasn't a matter of not being devoted to physical fitness. It's choosing the right kind of routine to become devoted to. So
That's
that's
right. That's
worked
right.
for you. Yeah. Raul, how about you? Did you ever become a member of a gym or something like that?
Yeah, sometime during the late 80s at that
Oh,
time, yeah. And then what I noticed was it 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 was important to do this regularly
mm,
because when you stop, you lose momentum.
true, true enough. Because we are essentially the same age, that was also the time that I also joined a gym.
Mm.
Um, this was in Makati, and
Mm.
it was called Hot Legs back in the
Oh,
day.
wow.
Yes, and
Huge,
the
exclusive.
uh, the person who was my spotter of all things, he was named Metal or Metal, as he wanted me to pronounce it. So Metal
Yeah.
was this really hunky dude who was like Carl, who was that the opponent of Sylvester Stallone in
Oh, Carl
Rocky.
Weathers. Carl
Carl
Weathers.
Weathers, yeah. His physique was exactly like that. And he was the one who said, "Don't give up, one more, push, push, go, go, go." Yeah. And and I stayed devoted to that for almost 2 years. And so there came a point where my physique was so sculpted that I was asked to join the what they call the flyweight competition for weightlifting, amateur. Yeah.
Wow.
And pinapasali niya na ako. Sabi niya, because you're already benching, you're already snatch and lift your body weight. You're already doing that, including leg press. Kaya mo na yung body weight mo. So, sali ka, sabi niya sa akin. And then, instead of joining, I took up another class. This was with Douglas Nieras. um, jazz. So I wanted to learn how to dance jazz. And so I studied under him. And I remember he famously said, Dino, you can never teach people how to dance. You can only make them do it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So uh, I couldn't figure out what that meant until it happened to me, because whenever I showed up in class and they were already doing their dance routines, he had no patience with coaching you individually about what the moves you missed were. You just had to catch up. And so it was your loss if you couldn't. So I learned how to lift, I learned how to dance, and then I enrolled in one more under Joel Sol Cruz, my sensei for Taekwondo. So uh, all those three things were happening in that gym. So it went from hot legs to power dance
Mhm.
back in the 80s. But um, going back to Fluffy, um, his thoughts about uh, being devoted to losing weight, it's really important to have a buddy who
Mhm.
cares, who will remind you. In other words, if you have nobody who will tell you, oh, don't quit, keep going, keep doing this, then without a support person, you might give up or lose interest too soon. All right. So anyway, we became serious for a while there. So let's go back to the funny stylings of Fluffy. Okay, here we go.
One night at one show, I received 11 chocolate cakes.
Oh,
And it was local, so I took them home. And that is an argument that nobody in this building has ever had at 3 o'clock in the morning. Because you don't just walk into the house with 11 cakes, you make some noise. You know? And I walk in with the last 2 cakes, and my girlfriend's in the kitchen, and she's like, "What the hell is this?" I'm trying to be cute. It's a bakery. Where did you get all this cake? I said, "Baby, the people at the show brought it." "Are you gonna eat all of it?" "Eventually. I'm not gonna do it in one hit, you know, freaking 2 hours later. Clear." How do you know someone isn't trying to poison you? With cake? Are you serious? It's like you live by the cake, you die by the cake, you know? No. So we're going back and forth, right? We wake up Frankie, and Frankie walks into the kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's all, "What's going on?" "Where did all the cake come from?" "The people at the show brought it." "Tell them I said thank you." "I'll tell them you said thank you, Frankie." "Gabriel, how come they bring you cake?" "Because 10 years ago I did a joke where I said, I love chocolate cake. Now people bring me cake. You should say you love Transformers." I'll start doing it, all right? So my girl's like, "Baby, put Frankie to bed." I go, "Frankie, you gotta go back to sleep." Want some cake?" "Yeah." So I grabbed one of these tiny cakes that somebody brought me, one of those little tiny ones that has the plastic cover and the sticker on the side, and I handed it to him. I go, "Here." He goes, "A little piece?" I go, "Dude, it's a small cake. You could have the whole thing." And the look that came over his face at 3 o'clock in the morning was like he got a gift from God. Because I said, "Here," and he was like, "Oh,
All right, that's funny. Eh, his son, or stepson, by the way, um, is also obese like him. Uh,
Hmm.
Yeah. So I remember one time when he was saying, when my son was saying, "Dad, you have to buy me a new cell phone because I lost my cell phone," and Fluffy said, "Why are you so concerned about having a cell phone?" And he said, "Because somebody might kidnap me." And then the father said, or rather, Fluffy said, "All 280 pounds of you? Good luck." Like, how are they supposed to do that with a wheelbarrow? So, uh, na ang galing nung eksenang yun ano, yung bang
Mhm.
for me, what made me laugh when I saw that was when the son, looked at that tiny cupcake and thought that it was a gift from God, as Fluffy said, especially with the like humming in Latin, like that was really funny.
Right.
How about you guys?
Okay. I I thought the one about the 11 chocolate cakes, no? When you 11 cakes, and then the sound effects it makes the
Mm.
again, and oh my gosh, you can really imagine the size. And I know in the US, when you talk about the chocolate cake, yeah, you're talking about the full size cake, not the mini ones like what they sell here. So
Mm.
Mm.
that that has to really be funny. Back to you.
Oh nga, no? That's true because I noticed that in America everything is always supersized. Um, I go to a burger place when I was in the US. I couldn't believe how large the serving of fries were. I mean, I thought in the Philippines when I order regular fries, it would be like just a tiny little pack of French fries. But in the US, no, it's like almost like a bucket of fries to go with my burger. And no wonder so many of them are so big because their servings are also so big. Um, for you, Carl, what was funny about that particular?
Well, yes, I agree with DTM Raul. On top of the sound, on top of the voice dynamics, his body language and facial expression also greatly help him deliver his stories. And on top of that, he also uses metaphors. As you know, a metaphor is a figure of speech that directly compares two unrelated things by stating one is the other. For example, when he gave Frankie a small piece of cake, right? He described Frankie's facial expression as someone who's got a gift from heaven, right?
Totoo. Um, and that speaks to delivery, ano? Para bang comedy
Mm,
is so critically, it's so critically important that delivery is good
mm,
because if you could have the best joke, but if you don't deliver it well, it will fall flat. People
right.
won't get it at all. Um,
So hard to entertain people.
exactly. Which is why, in my mind, I'm thinking if ever I go back to competing in speech contests, my Everest, my mountain, the one competition that I would really, really prepare for is the humorous speech contest because that is so difficult to do.
Right.
The prepared speech competition seems easier by comparison, rather than the humorous speech contest. So
Yes. Is
I
it true?
envy.
So
Yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
sorry to butt in, Mentor Dino. I want to ask if this is true. A lot of Toastmasters say that amongst all of the competitions inside of Toastmasters, of course, we have what was it? Humor rules, we have prepared speech, we have evaluation, and table topics. Among all of them, humor rules is the most difficult. Is that
I
correct?
would agree. I absolutely would agree. And I will not touch it with a 10-foot pole unless I really prepare well. Um, Bob Hope once said, comedy is no laughing matter. The line is it works because you have to be incredibly intelligent to make people laugh.
Right.
Rowan Atkinson, incidentally, in case you didn't know, is a Mensan, meaning his IQ is 140 and above.
Wow.
He is so intelligent, and yet he chooses to use his intelligence for comedy. And so
Mm.
when once upon a time he was interviewed by an American reporter, a female one, who sort of put him down for being just a comedian, the way that he put her down was not by insulting her or by scolding her. He just very calmly explained something with a very calm voice, with serious look in his eyes, put her in her place instantly by
Mm.
just reminding her that his IQ is so and so. So it takes a great deal of intelligence and delivery skills to make people laugh. Totoo yun.
Mm.
So I would not dare. I would not dare to compete in a humorous speech contest unless I had something really funny to share, and at least I'm reasonably sure that other people would also find it funny. Yeah. Okay, so moving on, let's continue.
Take it to your room. Domine Patri I went to go take him to school the next morning. He's in the bathroom crying. Hey, are you okay? My stomach. Your stomach? Too much cake? Yeah. Was it good? Hell yeah. I'll see you in the car. 20 minutes later, he comes to the car and he's all sweaty. You all right? What happened? I blew it up. Get in the car. I get him to school 45 minutes late. And usually when I drop them off, you guys, I leave them on the side of the school and they have like a drop-off zone with cones and a supervisor to make sure that your kid gets off safely. When you're 45 minutes late, there's nobody there. So I left them in front of the school. And apparently that's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. I didn't know, you know. Go for it. I'm not supposed to. I know, dude. Just go. You're late. Go. Out of nowhere, here comes the principal. And I know it's the principal because he's like, it's the principal, it's the principal, it's the principal, it's the principal. I'm like, dude, relax. I'm 30. I don't give a damn. Here comes the principal.
Sir, this is not the designated drop-off area. Please take your child to the other side of the school. You cannot leave him here.
I was like, watch this.
Señora, no sé lo que está diciendo. Estoy dejando a mi hijo aquí, aquí va a la escuela. Su mamá no se levantó. Yo no sé qué está pasando.
That's how you do it, homeboy. That's how you do it. That principal was amazing because she was like,
Usted no puede dejar su hijo aquí. Saca la vuelta a la otro lado de la escuela. Allá sí, sí, aquí no, no. Allá sí, sí, aquí no, no. Yo no
Naseplak siya ng principal.
Yes. I didn't know that the principal could also speak the same language.
Yeah. Could also speak Spanish.
Yeah.
Amazing, wasn't it, how Fluffy has this gift for mimicking voices
Yeah.
and sound effects? How many people in real life do you know who are gifted with that ability to copy sound effects and parang wala, no?
In the Philippines, I don't know if there's any comedian who does that.
Me neither. Which is, I guess, one of his trademarks. That's one of Fluffy's brands in that he can mimic different sounding people. One other comedian, by the way, who can do that, but only with a limited repertoire, would be Trevor Noah. If
Yeah.
Trevor Noah, di ba? Kasi sabi niya, the scariest people are Russians.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
They'll
watched that.
say, even if they say something good, but with a Russian accent, it's still scary.
Mm.
Like, I will go and see your family soon, huh? You prepare because we will celebrate your birthday. And it's still scary. But sabi nga ni Trevor Noah, but when they speak in their native tongue, the Russian, it's not scary at all. It sounds like a record playing backward.
Right, right.
Yeah, right. And it doesn't scare anybody. But when they speak with that Russian accent, it's scary, even though it's nothing bad is being said. So, Raul, among the comedians here in the Philippines who you like, who do you like because they're wholesome and yet funny?
That's a tough one. It's been
I have
I
one.
oh,
and
go ahead, Carl. Yeah, go ahead,
Mine
Carl.
is I think um One that comes close to that description is Bayani Ag Bayani.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Because his jokes are also wholesome, and you wouldn't really, if you listen to him first when he's telling a story, you wouldn't really know that he's going to crack a joke. You know?
Oh, dry humor. In other words,
Yes, yes,
you're not exactly sure if he's cracking a joke or not,
yes.
which is what makes it funny.
Right.
Yeah, I've had a few bosses like that too. Like, I mess up and then I'm not sure if he's going to crack a joke or get mad at me. Um, when he was still alive, I many of us really liked that particular person, Antonio O. Vasquez, the
Mhm.
late Antonio Vasquez of Commercial Bank of Manila, when he used to be my boss because when I messed up big time. He laughed so loud that the walls of the office were reverberating. That's how loud he laughed. So everybody in the department knew that somebody messed up because the bigger the mistake, the louder he laughed. And whenever he decided to scold somebody, his unique brand of scolding made you leave his room feeling very embarrassed. Mamumula ka talaga kasi he would laugh at what you did instead of shouting and getting mad at you. He'd crack a joke about it. Okay,
Mhm.
true story. I'll share one. Before the days of mobile phones, this was during the days of pagers, pocket bell, easy call, or hard to call as we would sometimes call it. Raul, nakuha ni Raul yan.
Naabutan
Naabutan
ko
mo
naman
yan.
po yan when I was
Oh, okay.
around, yeah,
Naabutan
5
mo pa
years
rin.
old, I think.
Yun. So what happened was I had made a mistake about printing the number of copies of Combank News. Um, because there were no phones, I could not call my boss Archie in Long or his boss Antonio Vasquez by mobile phone because it was the weekend. So I was doing overtime at the printing press to print copies of the bank newsletter. And because I didn't know how many copies we normally ordered, I asked the printing press person, "How many copies do we normally order?" And he'd go, "Oh, sometimes it's 500, sometimes it's 5,000." And there I
Mhm.
was looking at him, knowing I couldn't get a decision from anybody, but definitely the newsletter had to come out by Monday, and that was I was there on a Saturday. We had a deadline. And so in my mind, I don't know what possessed me to decide it's better to have more than less. And so I told him, go ahead and print the 5,000 copies. Of
Mhm.
course, when Monday came around and AOV found out that I had ordered 5,000 copies, oh my God, the room, the entire department reverberated because he laughed so loud. And then here's what he told me, which made everybody laugh in that department. He said, "Son, even through salary deduction, there is no way that you could pay off all of these extra copies that you
No
had
way.
printed by the press. And so here's your penance. You're going to ride in the armored trucks and you're going to distribute all of these excess copies to all of the branches of the bank. We're not going to hire a delivery service to do that. You're going to do that until all of the copies have been distributed, until you've worked off your debt. Uh, and so, yeah, I was really red faced when I walked out of his room. And guys, I tell you what, it is no fun to ride in an armored truck for 2.5 months. It doesn't have air conditioning and it's very
Oh.
claustrophobic. I was wearing a tie and a long sleeve shirt and I was drenched in sweat every time I would go out and then hand over this particular branch's copies of the newsletter. Did that for 2.5 months. Lost so much weight. Not that I needed to lose any, but that's what I meant. So yeah, okay, let's go on.
Mhm. Mhm.
Soy pendeja.
Did that really happen? Yes.
So let me tell you guys, I'm in the doctor's office and he tells me, he says, listen, Gabriel, obviously working out isn't cutting it. I have a friend who specializes in gastric bypass, and I think it would benefit you greatly to at least listen to what the guy has to say. It couldn't hurt. So he hands me a card. The card says BH Surgical Center. I make an appointment. I show up to this place. I get to the door. The door doesn't say BH Surgical Center. It actually says Center for the Morbidly Obese. Yeah, that shit's not cute. So I figure I'm there, I might as well check it out. So I walk in, I go over to the receptionist, and I ask, right spot? And she was cool. She was like, yes, sir, you're in the right location. Can I ask you something? Absolutely. Why does it say Center for the Morbidly Obese on the door? The doctors prefer it that way. Why don't you have that on the card? Because then you won't come in. First time? Yeah, first time. So she hands me a clipboard and she goes, please take this clipboard and have a seat. They'll call you in a few minutes. So I turn around and I sit down on this couch and I start filling out the paperwork. And it wasn't like insurance forms and stuff like that. It was actually more of like a questionnaire. They ask you a bunch of questions and you have to answer from 1 to 10 how unhealthy you think you are. And it's not going good. It's not. I'm like, oh, freaking 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And as I'm filling out the paperwork outside the door, I hear. All of a sudden, the door opens up and this dude walks in, freaking. I was like, oh my God, you're morbid. Immediately, my score got better. I'm like, shoot, I'm a 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm healthy by default. He makes his way over to the receptionist and she's like, are you here for the 8:30? Is this your first time here? Because the doctors prefer it that way. Because then you won't come in. Oh, God. Take this clip.
Okay. That's funny. Oh, um, Raul, maybe we'll get your reaction first.
All right. I thought that part where he's making that second translation. No, I thought that was really hilarious. No,
Right, right.
it looks, no, the impression is the receptionist keeps on getting the same questions all the time. And I thought that Fluffy was able to show all that. No, back to you.
Totoo, totoo. In other words, it's like somebody who goes to have a checkup, and you go to say like a hospital, and one of the checkups you go through is like for an STD, a sexually transmitted disease,
Mm-mm.
and then the nurse might call out the name of the patient, De La Cruz, who won? Results for gonorrhea. Of course, if you're the patient, I don't know. You would. Oh, I don't know that person. But you need the paper because you need to show your employer that you tested negative. So, but then, of course, nobody's going to approach the nurse who's so callously and without any sensitivity whatsoever just announced the results for the gonorrhea test was negative. So anyway, Carl, I heard you chuckling kanina. What
Yeah.
was
For me, what makes Fluffy's joke amazing is that they emanate from true to life experiences,
Mm.
right? And that's true. Like the earlier example, people will deceive you just for them to get you to do what they wanted you to do,
Mm.
right? And let's circle back for a moment to how good he is at mimicking sounds.
Oh yeah.
Yes, when he was describing the morbidly fat patient, he
Yeah.
used sounds to describe how the patient communicated. And
Mm.
through that sounds and with the help of body language and facial expression, we understood somehow, or we understood totally what he was trying to say, even without uttering any word that's understandable.
Mm.
That's all for me.
That's true. In other words, there are comedians who are funny by reputation. In other words, people like they have one-liners that make them so funny without even trying. Like
Mhm.
Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
He might be asked to, "Oh, Mr. Atkinson, Mr. Bean, could you read some of these words and make them funny?" And so he'll just read some words and he'll go things like fuel pump. Just by the way he says fuel pump, people will start to laugh because it's not normally said that way. People normally say just fuel pump, and you say fuel pump, and that would make people chuckle. But there are people who are funny because of what you call sight gags. Because like Fluffy, he's so big, that's his brand. And the moment you see him, you already feel like laughing because he's so big. Um, I'm sure we've had experiences like that before. Like, naalala nyo ba si Weng Weng, that comedian? Di ba, maliit siya, tapos, tsaka sino pa yung, Richie the Horsey, or something like that, like, you look at them, or sino to? The comedian si Palito, right? Si
Si
Palito.
Palito. Yeah.
Kasi sobrang payat naman ni Palito. So he's always cast as like a bangkay or a zombie, parang ganun, di ba? yung yung you just look at him and he doesn't have to say anything, but you already feel like laughing. So there are comedians who are sight gag artists, and then there are comedians who are gifted with choice of words. And
Mm.
Fluffy seems to be gifted with several. His sight gag funny. He uses good words, and then he uses nice sound effects to. I think the key here is, would you agree, guys, na parang he helps us to visualize the things that he's talking about. So,
It's
di
like
ba?
reading comics.
Oo nga eh, parang ganon.
Yes.
Yung kinuwento niya na yung anak niya nandun sa toilet kinabukasan, tapos
Mm.
sabi ng anak niya, it exploded. Like, oh, you suddenly visualize that. No? So,
Mm.
um, I guess we don't have to go much further than this because
Mm.
we've explored Fluffy Iglesias sufficiently.
Mm.
Um, do you have like parting words for our viewers about um, number one, what comedians today need to aspire to be funny, but at the same time wholesome?
All right, I'd like to go first, Dino. I believe that what would work is self-deprecating humor, just like what
Mm.
Fluffy does. No? He
Mm,
doesn't poke fun at others, but pokes fun at himself. That's
yun.
the first. And then second is when applying any brand of humor, very important to have the audience visualize the setting so that they would react favorably to your humor. Back to you.
And on that basis, Raul, I really laughed my head off when you gave your speech during that division competition that
Oh
I witnessed.
yeah. That's so
Grabe yun.
good.
Kasi the best part of your speech was you were seated right next to the very person you
Right.
were talking about in your speech. Like, and I absolutely believed everything you said.
That all happened. That all happened. Yeah.
Kasi nga, true to life eh, di ba? Ayun.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you were such a fan of Evangeline, di ba? Grabe.
During my teenage years back then.
'Cause I felt so bad that you didn't win first place because that was a side of you I had never suspected and never ever seen before. Wow. So please don't give up joining those humorous speech contests because I'm always learning something new about you. Yeah, Carl, how about you?
I agree with DTM Raul that one great thing about Fluffy is that he used self-deprecating humor. And because I see that the challenge that the comedians, especially our comedians, have nowadays is that sometimes, or if sometimes, if not most of the time, they make jokes at the expense of other people's
Oh,
embarrassment,
yeah. Mm.
right? So I think we can model Fluffy. We can have him as a benchmark for making wholesome jokes.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so much, Carl. And if there's anybody among our viewers who work at comedy bars in Malate, please take the words of Carl seriously because I tell you what, I've been a victim of so much of their humor every time I go to a sing along bar that's also a comedy bar. Before they make you sing, they're going to make fun of you. And so there was a time I just walked in the library and Bachi was there and he said, "Oh, kahawig niya si Noel Trinidad." And then like everybody was laughing and really I look like Noel Trinidad. And so when I got up on stage, because Bachi is a little bit obese, I hugged him and I said, "Subas, long time no see." And then people laughed because they got the reference to Champoy,
Yeah.
Subas Herrero, Noel Trinidad, the comedy duo back in the day. And tama yun, sinasabi ni Raul, no, na maganda yung you have that capacity to poke fun at yourself. So sometimes
Right.
when I'm doing my seminars, I'll introduce myself as, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am what you might call an articulate trainer. Maarte na, makulit pa. And I'm a member of the Hawaii Five-O. You know, people who are 5 feet and below. And there was a time I was active with the bike gang called the Cool Cats. Kulang sa sukat." Yeah. But the nice thing about being as short as I am, every time it rains, I'm the last one to get wet. So, put downs, especially if it's directed at yourself, is forgivable. People will forgive you. And maybe I'll just add this. If you decide to poke fun at a regional group of people, like Visayans, for example, make sure that you're Visayan as well. Because if I say something like, sabi nila, Bisaya daw ako, wa man sila ibidins. Pero that'll work because I'm Visayan. But
Mm.
if I did that and I'm not, I would be trolled mercilessly on this channel.
Mm.
So thank you so much to you, Raul and Carl, for once again helping us share our insights and educating those who like watching the show. And incidentally, I must congratulate Carl and Raul, the two of you. When I uploaded the very first trailer for the episode we did previously, barely 12 minutes after I did that, there were 100 views. And
Wow.
after about half a day, there were more than 284 views. So
Wow.
that means there are a lot of people who enjoy listening to the two of you. So congratulations for that. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I'm your moderator for tonight. I don't say host because I'm moderating my two fellow analysts tonight. Dino Santos with Raul de la Vega and Carl Lasmeria, saying that learning is a never ending journey with limitless vistas. Good day.